Keeping that sentiment in mind, let me invite on the podium for Chief Guest Address, Shri Shibu Baby John, Honorable Labour Minister for the Kerala Govt. Please put your hands together.
Honorable Minister for Labour, Government of Karnataka, Mr. Parmeshwar Naik, dignitaries on and off the dais, dear friends. It's indeed a privilege to be here to participate in this conference. More than the award ceremony, to the conference on occupational health and safety, which I find very interesting. The brief speech by Mr. Seven actually proves how seriously Greentech Foundation looks into such matters. At the outset, I would like to congratulate Greentech Foundation under the stewardship of Mr. Saran for persistently making efforts to improve the safety standards of the country. He has rightly pointed out the attitudinal problems that pose a major challenge in our quest for better safety. In any dynamic economy, industrialization is considered as one of the parameters for growth. At this juncture, when India and the world over is grappling with a course of action to be taken to overcome challenges and explore opportunities that will enable growth, it becomes imperative for us to pause for a while and take stock of the current industrial scenario. It's the right time to question status quo, encourage out-of-the-box thinking, and take a look at everything around us with a new pair of eyes. Looking at the industrial scenario from the perspective of industrial safety or occupational health and safety, we could see that the concept of occupational health and safety in developing countries is limited, and workplace accidents and occupational diseases remain one of the most appalling tragedies of the modern industrial age. Incidents of occupational hazards are one of the key factors that put a spoke in the wheel of accelerated growth and development. An accident due to lack of proper safety measures or negligence of compliance to regulations has a heavy price to pay. A classical example in front of us was the Bhopal disaster, the gas leak incident in India, which is considered the world's worst industrial disaster. We all know the cascading impact it had with direct casualties, thousands of deaths, and millions of permanent and partial disabilities for a lifetime, affecting a large population in wide area. And with indirect impact of wider implications, exposing a lack of proper regulation and legislation and the loopholes thereof in the existing laws. More people are killed during work than in wars, and it injures and mutilates. Almost 270 million accidents are recorded each year, out of which 350,000 have fainted. ILO believes that many of these tragedies can be prevented. And yet, 30 years after the Bhopal disaster, which killed thousands and injured about 200,000 in the space of few hours, the situation has not improved any further. Closer home in India, the OHS situation is even graver because of many factors such as inadequate medical facilities and their illiterate workforce. As thousands of workers are repeatedly exposed to hazardous chemicals, the incidence of occupational diseases and injuries are very high in India. Accuracy of data on OHS available in India is debatable because the majority of accidents are not reported to the Labour Department. India also ranks low on occupational safety and health legislation and infrastructure. The health and safety measures prescribed in most of the laws have not kept pace with the rapidly changing, the better enterprises with the largest employment rate in India. However, it is perceived that total economic losses due to occupational illness and injuries are enormous. So let us focus on the root causes and how this could be converted to an opportunity for improvement to accelerate growth. If you look at the state of Kerala, researchers on a fact-finding mission highlighted two serious blocks of workers of Kerala. Highlighted two serious blocks when it comes to safety that go against all our efforts to prevent accidents. These blocks are attributed to cultural behavior. It is very evident in the simplest of form when you look at the traffic on the roads of Kerala. People who have come to Kerala, we have the highest accident rate. Almost 12 people die every day because of the road accident in Kerala. But unfortunately, enforcing the basic safety measure of wearing a helmet to ride a bike, we are not able to do that. And in itself, this is attributed to the cause of this culture and behavior pattern of Keralites, which is only demonstrated when they are on their home ground. The moment we people go out of Kerala, we are the most law-abiding citizens. Another thing which was Mr. Sharan pointed out regarding occupational safety and the attitude of the people concerned. Let me share with you my experience. I took charge as a Labour Minister of Kerala in 2011 May. So one of my first priorities was to bring in some sort of safety measures into the construction sites. We have these high-rise buildings, construction buildings on that. I could see accidents happening regularly. And nobody was never really concerned of what is happening. Especially we have a situation in Kerala where we have a lot of migrant workers, actually workers from other states come to Kerala and work. And probably because of that, if it's a local worker, maybe there will be more pressure. And there were so many fatalities, fatal accidents, nobody used to take anything, nobody used to be even concerned about it. But then, as a government, we decided we will do something about it, we loved it. And there was so much resistance. Builders, many of them are very personal friends of mine, but they were very powerful lobby. And every move that the government tried, they tried to stop it. And the kind of excuses typically like what was said here, typically, they don't wear helmets, they don't wear safety belts, how much ever we save, they don't do that, so it's just not possible. But I can tell you from my experience, we took a position that there will be no compromise on safety measures. And initially, in spite of all the opposition to it, we started seeing results. And the first thing was scaffolding. And say other safety measures probably will cost them another 50 rupees per square feet, but they were just not prepared to do it together. But the moment we started insisting slowly, and I personally used to, whenever I travel, whenever I see a high-rise building under construction, I used to look up. And initially there were no safety nets, I didn't see any nets at all, no scaffolding. So the moment I see a building that like that, I used to call up the concerned labor officer and say, there's a construction going on, just check on it. So initially, by just checking on it, they say, okay, we'll improve. But then nothing happened. Then I gave instruction, the moment you see a lapse on their part, what we have to do is, do a stop promo, ask them to stop construction. And that, I can tell you, really worked. The moment they had to stop construction, then there was this cost piling up, they had to do salary to the workers, and when that pressure came in, they started obliging, and now I wouldn't say it's 100%, but the change has been tremendous over the last 6 or 8 months, and in the last 1 year, I don't think any fatal accident has been reported in the construction field in Kerala. So what I was just trying to explain is, in spite of these attitudinal problems, if we are really determined, if the government and others involved, if we are really determined, I think this change will come about. And such conferences are helpful, definitely helpful, in at least creating an awareness. And like Mr. Saran rightly pointed out, it is people who have the resources, who don't have a budgetary problem, but they are not just willing to take note of it. And I don't know, experts, when I attended a conference, experts in this field were mentioning, before every accident in a factory, in a workplace, there will be 33 warnings before that. There will be small but 33 warnings before that. All 33, you will reach into a fatal accident. So these are the aspects that should be, taken care of. We should concentrate more. It really is a very important area where we should address this, especially the way India is growing. Okay. Lead the last few months, but otherwise we've been growing at a very fast pace. So definitely, this is one area which needs a lot of attention. I once again congratulate Greentech Foundation and Mr. Saran for organizing such a show and persistently continuing with their efforts to improve the safety. I wish them all the best and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
It is a very special request, and Mr. Sharan had specially asked me to put that question across to you. I could pass you a cordless mic right here. Mr. Shibu Baby John has put across his points and he's illustrated them very well. And this experience comes from being an entrepreneur. He's also been a business person before he joined politics, and it seems to have been a very interesting story that he recounted specially at the NIPM event that Mr. Sharan attended in Kochi last year. Since we have a lovely bunch of guests here, very briefly we would like you to recount that experience, sir.
No, it's really nothing much. Like I said, I was never interested in politics. I was always a businessman. My father was a very senior politician in Kerala. So he was also an industrialist. So what I said that day was, it is all by default that I happened to reach this position. My father started an industry in 1963. So he did the inaugural ceremony, conducted the inaugural ceremony in 1963. I conducted the closing ceremony in 1998, and then I entered and my father, toiled for about more than 5 decades. He built up a party. He was the national secretary of the party. Then after he fell sick, after I closed the industry, I got into politics. And 1 year's time, I was able to split that party into two. So it's all by default. So finally I ended up as a minister in the present coalition government. But what I said then is, see, all the jokes apart, all these roles helped me a lot in the present position I am. Because from the one side, as an industrialist, what we saw, what we thought, what we perceived, I wouldn't say it was wrong. But the moment I became a trade union leader, subsequently, there was a tremendous change in the thought process. I could understand. Previously, as an industrialist, when a worker raises a demand, we might find it unacceptable. We might think, why he is doing like that. But the moment the shift from an industrial to a trade unionist helped me realize what the social pressures they are facing, what makes them think like that, how differently they think. And instead of trying to find fault with that, always what we should try and do is find out the circumstances which make them say that, demand differently. And you find a solution for the circumstances and try and help them. And again, accidental that I got labor portfolio itself after my dual role. And this definitely, both these things as an industrialist and trade unionist helped me a lot. Basically, I was speaking about that in the management thing. I don't want to go to the whole